Good morning. My name's Catherine, and I'm 70 years old, and I'm just sort of using this as a diary, I suppose, a blog, whatever we're calling these things these days, to just today I'm going to give my opinion, and then some days I talk to my grandchildren. So it's kind of been a fun little thing to do. You know, for years people said, "Oh my gosh, you really need to have something on Instagram or on this or that," and they kept adding the darn things, to social media. And I was like, no, no, I don't know what to talk about. Well, guess what? I got old enough and now I know what to talk about. So today is an opinion day, and one of the things that I really hate is, number one, that I say so much. Number two, whenever I have a memory and I go and I look for something and it's not there. So that really kind of bugs me. But I understand change. I was in the business world for 20 years. I know what happens. Change is the only thing that you can count on. So a couple of months ago, maybe about 4 months ago, I was standing in front of the Little Debbie display, and I was thinking, is there something that I can do with these to make a cake? Because I'd made one before for my girl cousin's reunion, and it was a whole lot of fun. It was the strawberry ones, they're pinwheels, and then they have an icing on them. So what you do is you stand them up on the long end. You put a little bead of icing, and you go around and around and around and around and around until it makes a pretty big flat cake. Now, I had 6 boxes, so I think that was about 60 of them, and it was really a very, very sweet, to the point of going into a coma, and it was relatively easy to do. It was really, really tasty. Now, I've been a diabetic for 15 years, and I've just gotten now to the point where my weight is down enough, and I've got my diet under control. I still do take pills, although technically I'm not on the diabetic scale anymore because my A1C is 5, and I plan to keep it that way. So, because I took the picture of the Little Debbies and came home and looked at Little Debbie cakes made out of Little Debbie cakes, I got a big splash of stuff that happens whenever you're searching, and they say, "Hey, she needs Little Debbie's." So I found an article, and the article said that the Little Debbies were going to bring out a banana cake. Now, they've had banana cake before, and it was in a bar. And I'm going to show you this. Because today is about Little Debbie cake. It was in a bar, and it was a pretty good sized bar, because I think there was only like 6 or 8 of them in there, so it was a pretty good sized bar. And the banana was soft, and the cake was nice, and they tasted good. When I was a kid, there was something called a banana flip, and those banana flips were huge. My dog's with me, and she's wanting me to give her one of these cakes. But it was like big as my hand. Okay, so it was huge. It was absolutely something I should have never, ever put in my mouth, but I did. And we used to eat them all the time when we were kids. They were so yummy, and there was a lot of the banana fluff, or whatever you want to call that, in there. And it was sort of a fold over kind of thing. And it was like I said, it was a pretty big snack. I mean, it was a pretty big snack. It really, 4 people probably could have eaten the snack. And so I thought, I'm going to try these banana cakes of Little Debbie's, and I'm going to see if they taste good, if they taste like that one. And they did. So I thought, okay, if I ever got to steal a snack, this is the one I have to, the only way I could do that for all these years was to buy the box and make sure that I had grandchildren coming, so that I could say, here, y'all need to eat these, and I got to eat one. Okay, so that was kind of, the cheat. And then they didn't have them anymore. Couldn't find them anywhere. So 6 months ago, maybe somewhere in January, I think they said, yeah, January, that they were going to bring out uh, the new banana cakes. And they were going to have all sorts of sandwich cake flavors. And I think they have out, that I have found, is peanut butter. And finally, this one was out the other day, and I was so excited. And that was the one thing that I got really excited about when I was reading the article was, oh my gosh, I could cheat a little bit again. And you know, it's just a memory. It's a memory thing that I'm playing with here, because it doesn't really taste like real bananas, like I always tell everybody, because I do love Laffy Taffy banana candy. It is plastic banana taste, I think. But they all taste the same, so that's cool, you know. But again, I can't eat all that now. And some days I would love to just have a big old cheat day, then I'll probably have a heart attack and die. But I don't want to do that. So anyway, I got a box of these. And there's 8 in the box. I think they cost about $3 and maybe 45 cents, maybe 2 for $5 if you get them on sale. I don't know. I live in Texas, which is, you know, HEB Center. That's where we go to church. So I got. So let me get into this. This is what they look like. Which was a little disappointing, I gotta tell you, because I thought they might have that glaze on them that some of the cakes have on them, but they didn't. And once we got it open it up. I didn't really mind it was this small. It was no big deal to me. But it is. Let me break it in half. So you can kind of tell this is the amount of cream stuff in the middle, which I thought was chintzy. I really did. And it doesn't get better from here. So, Little Debbie, if you're listening, you need to go back to the old ones because they were much better than these. So, they're dry. They're just really, really dry. And it is so disappointing whenever you're hoping that something's going to be a whole lot better when it's not. I mean, if you take this in your mouth, you're going to have some coffee or tea or something to dump it down with, because it's just not any good. I mean, it's just not, there's not enough of this cream to make this any moisture. Nope. The dog's eating them too. So, I'm disappointed. I am so disappointed I can hardly see straight. Because it does taste like plastic banana candy. And for that, good on you, YouTube. I mean, YouTube. Good on you, Little Debbie. But other than that, those cakes are a total failure. The total memory failure, total taste failure, and I let other people try them, and they didn't like them either. And if you eat too much of it and too big of a bite, you're going to have trouble swallowing it. So that was a real crap feeling. It was just not really very good. I mean, I suppose if I really got down to it, I could just do this, and that would be fine. But again, a real bad feeling, because Little Debbie has been one of my favorite things forever. I mean, before I ever became an adult, there was Little Debbie's, and we didn't get them very often because, we didn't get them very often because my parents didn't have the money for that kind of stuff. And but then as a teenager, if I had money, I bought it for myself. And to be disappointed by Little Debbie has been heart-wrenching, just heart-wrenching to me. I'm going to pout just a little bit, but I guess I will live. I guess I will live. We live in a little place called Lumberton in Texas, and we are very close to the Louisiana border. So when you go over to Louisiana, which is probably just maybe 30 miles away from us, all right? So we're the kind of Texans who have 2 states that we're from, Texas, Louisiana, all right? And the food over there is so stunningly amazing, as it is really and truly here in East Texas, Southeast Texas, because we have a lot of that influence here. And they have a pie called Hubig's, and Hubig's has a banana pie that is amazing. And every time we go, my husband says to me, "Why have you spent $27 on pies?" I said, "Because I want to." So, and I don't just buy the banana one, I bought a whole bunch of them. Well, after COVID, it was either COVID or it was one of the hurricanes that we have down here. Hubig quit making their pies because something was damaged. It must have been a hurricane. And so whenever they finally got around to where they were making Hubig pies again, oh, it was such a celebration, such a celebration. But that's one of the things that I kind of remember from when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it was really, really good. There is another, the company that makes Heavenly Hash is in Ponchatoula, Louisiana. And they also make Goldberg eggs. And those were a huge part of our Easters. A huge part of our Easters. And they've come out now with like just a pecan egg, and they've come out now with a, there was one more. Maybe that's the newest, but at any rate. And it tastes like one of those pecan logs with the nougat in the middle. And then they have their regular chocolate eggs, which has pecans in them. And then they have Heavenly Hash. They made Heavenly Hash. It was so good. I think they made Heavenly Hash. If another company made Heavenly Hash, I'm very sorry to give your claim over to them. But anyway, those were, well, so the last time we went to New Orleans, we were there right before Easter. I spent $100 on those Goldberg eggs and the other one, because I passed them out to my family, because we really not been able to find them here in past years, and so that's kind of a really big thing. One of the things about my family is this: you learned early to medicate with food. That's what we did. If things were great, let's go get an ice cream. If things were bad, let's go get an ice cream. It was always Dairy Queen. So these are things that just sort of existed in our family. I am, I'd have to say an addict to sweet things, because my whole family are addicts to sweet things. And the difference in addiction is no different than, say, a drug or liquor. It's just that ours is legal. I guess liquor is legal too. But, so it's very hard to go to the grocery store and not succumb to your addiction, whenever you're sort of in the thick of it. Now, about 4 months ago, somewhere in there, I decided to stop eating sugar. Oh my gosh, this is the most horrible decision I've ever made, but I did it. And I've just now gotten to the point where I can actually go down the candy aisle and not buy candy. So that's a big win for me. That's a big win for me. I have stopped drinking coffee, because it really wasn't the coffee that I liked, it was the creamer, and that has a lot of sugar in it. No cereals, anything that adds sugar, like I did not realize in crackers, especially crackers like butter crackers or Ritz crackers or any kind of crackers like that, they add an almost 4% additional sugar. And I may have talked about this already. I do two things. I do one sort of a history of us for my grandkids, and then I'm just doing this, my opinion on most things. But it's been far harder for me to not eat sugar. And it's not, maybe not as much candy, but things like this Little Debbie thing, they catch me early. I can go into a bakery and say, okay, I'm just going to live here now, and I'm going to eat all of it. So, those are things I can't eat and keep my blood sugar at 5. I just can't do it. So it's been a real road for me. We went vegan head on, full on, about 3 years ago, and that really started the weight loss. I've lost 85 pounds. That really started the weight loss, and that weight loss uh, um, came about because we watched a video, and gosh, I wish I could remember the name of the video. I'll have to ask my son. In that or the whole thing was about veganism and how it made athletes more powerful. I think it was on Netflix. So we watched that, and somewhere in there, one of them said, it's not sugar that causes diabetes. And he had an opinion that it was meat, red meat, cheese, eggs, butter, all that extra stuff. So I turned and I looked at my husband and I said, okay, you want to try? And he said, sure, I'll do anything. And he's really good that way, really good that way. So the next time I went to the store, there were no products bought that had any animal products in them. And I don't know if you know this or not, but wine has egg whites in it because some people use it to fine out the, when I say fine out, I mean filter out particles in the wine. So it's very, very difficult. You have to really be on your guard, and you have to really watch. You also can't eat out all the time because so much sugar is added to foods in restaurants, along with things that taste good like bacon, lard, things like that. So you have to be very careful whenever you're doing that too. Now, do I still not eat any meat? No. If we're going to go out with somebody, we eat meat. I did add fish back into our diet because I felt like we needed the protein a little bit more, but we still do not have any butter, margarines, anything like that. No eggs, no cheese, which kind of is a hard one sometimes, and definitely no meat products. No, if we're at home, no steaks, no red meat, no pork, no chicken, no turkey, none of that stuff, no bacon. So if I felt like I could at least try it, and sure enough, it began to boom, 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 boom down. So it was very gratifying to see that for me. So if any of you think you need help here, it is imperative that you do this. But the sugar thing has been very, very difficult for me, and I'll keep you updated on this because I come from a family that at Thanksgiving, if we have 15 pies, somebody will say, well, where's this pie? And it's not that they're all gluttons, and they're certainly not 500 pounds. It's just the way we were raised, just the way the Southerners were raised, and so when you know better, you do better, right? And I'm a baby boomer, or maybe right before baby boomers, because I was born in 56. And so I'm really part of the first generation that somebody actually said to them, lard is bad for you. You shouldn't be eating that. Eggs are bad for you. You shouldn't be eating that. Bacon is bad for you. You shouldn't be eating that. Now, they've come back with a few things now that say it probably was maybe okay to eat some of that. I can't imagine anybody eating lard, but it's a decision. It's a decision. And I respect anybody's decision not to do it. And there's plenty of people who tell me, oh my God, I could not ever do that. And I thought I couldn't either, but I did. So, well, this is why I think I was so darn disappointed in those banana pudding Debbie cakes. Because I was expecting them, if I was going to cheat it, I wanted it to be full of flavor. And it had flavor, but it was just so dry. Just so dry. I'm so sad. So sad. But I'll get over it. I'll find something else, I'm sure, to cheat on once in a while. I hope that you're going to have a great day today. We woke up this morning to 43. And there's a saying here in Southeast Texas that if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes and it'll change. And pretty much that is the way it is around here. By the end of the week, it's supposed to be in the 80s. And this is maybe what they're saying is the last of the cold fronts for us, but I don't know. We had snow in April a couple times, which is kind of crazy for it down here. So the temps have to be just right. So have a good day. If you have a food you don't like and you're upset with it, leave it in the comments. Okay, I'd love to know that. I'd appreciate a like and share if you could do that. I appreciate you so much letting me just talk. Thanks. Bye, guys.